Well, I've got one shot to record this game, so let's hope it came out nicely. My opponent, the Bane, won the dice roll. I'll go ahead and turn off the sound for magic. And after the game, I'll go ahead and display the deck list. So he, of course, elected to go first. And this is my opening hand. I'm going to put my hand down here, like so that you can see it. Hopefully, one day they'll fix this glitch and things will be reversed. Anyway, he's playing Carador Ghost Chieftain, and as always I'm playing Sliver Queen. I'm going to go ahead and minimize Queen for now. The thing about Carador that I like is every turn that guy gets more and more dangerous. So this was my opening hand, and thanks to Eternal Dragon, a new edition, I decided to keep it. He mulliganed, I did not, and he leads off. So he's at the bottom with the Bayou Elf play. And I drew Watery Grave. I'm going to go ahead and expand this out fully. So I get first turn Vault. I figured that's pretty fantastic. Second turn I can activate Strip Mine, cast Strand Dynamo, and cycle my dragon. But he runs out a turn 2 Harmonic Sliver. Thankfully, with Dragon, I can use colorless mana, so I'm able to go get Plateau, of all things. And I get Plateau because of that Merchant Scroll in my hand. Now, this is a play that later on I realized I could have done better with, but we'll see how it plays out. I assumed Harmonic was the only sliver in his deck, and that the chance of him drawing like a Changeling here, the one good one, the 4/4 green one, was low enough that I was willing to just develop. So Felwar comes down. And he gets down Survival, always a pretty scary threat. So at this point, initially the plan was Merchant Scroll for Fire Ice, and use the Plateau to play Fire Ice. But what I should have done was played Strip Mine, Strand Dynamo, Chromatic Lantern, and then said, go. Had I done that, I could follow up with Queen next turn and kill his Survival, and then start pumping out Survival to Queen babies to kill any other artifact or enchantment, and just leave him with the Harmonic Sliver in play. But alas, I did not do that, so I go get Fire Ice, and then I'm kind of waiting. I wanted him to Survival before I decided to commit with Fire. He doesn't buy it, so I go ahead and fire now. And he pitches Shieldred, and so I realize he's probably got some reanimation effect here. And now I'm really sad because, depending on which reanimation spell he has, there's a chance I could have used his Harmonic Sliver to disenchant it. Worse, if I can't kill whatever he gets, he's going to get the sliver back. And it's enemy dead. So, again, misplaying. I still should have Dynamo, Lantern, Opal, Strip Mine, and then play Queen. So let's see what I do. Dynamo, good. Lantern, good. Opal, sure. Activate Strip Mine. I'm ready with Queen. Of course, he's going to Harmonic Sliver. So many juicy targets. I think the clear-cut winner is Strand Dynamo. He doesn't, for whatever reason, and I'm quite happy about that. Now, if that... So I still have Queen mana, you'll note. So the right play here, for anyone who's paying attention, which is an amazing play, is cast Queen, kill Animate Dead, activate Queen, kill Survival of the Fittest, basically win game. The wrong play, for those of you who are paying attention, is to go with the Terminus early. Now, the only reason to do it would be if I didn't want to, if I expected to have to Queen and I wanted my, I didn't want her in play. I didn't want to lose her. But I think the way that board was set up, it was way better if I would have gone the other route with it. Alas, I do not. So we'll carry on and see what happens. So let's keep track of what's going on in his graveyard. Seems kind of important. Look at that. I could have made a token and just killed that. Give him a card, but I get a guy. Anyway. So he's recovering from the early disruption fairly well. And he's got 2 creatures, so his commander is currently a 6-drop. And there's my Vess. But he's only got 2 cards in hand to use survival with, so I figure let's hit him with another one. It's probably not a creature. Turns out it is, but what a great creature to take. That's okay. Not only does it take that guy, but it takes his ability to discard a creature with survival and power up. So he plays Wasteland, down to 1 card in hand. I'm going to keep his graveyard kind of up there for now. No, actually, we'll keep it down here. And Buried Alive, pretty rough card to see coming for his deck. And look at this, he gives me a chance to undo my past errors by giving me the potential, by putting a Necrotic Sliver and then having the potential that he may replay that with his Carador. So even though I'm not going to bank my game plan around it, in the back of my mind I'm thinking, okay, here's a possible development later, and it's something to keep an eye on. So he gets down with Solemn. And then starts attacking my mana base. Presumably because his commander is now 3 creatures less. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His commander is now 3 mana only. But he is out of cards in hand, so at this point I decided I don't want the City of Brass on top, of course. And because I've got a dragon and enough white to pick him up, I go get a non-white blue source, a non-white card with this, because I don't want to run out of planes for the dragon in the long term. So I pick him up in order to continue to develop and draw the map, which works out alright. So here's the plains that are left. 5 of them: Tundra, Scrub, Savannah, Plains, and Hallowed Fountain. So of course I take Tundra and play the map. And then instead of hitting an empty hand, allowing him to attack with Solemn, and then potentially casting his guy as well as any other threat, I decide to go ahead and Vess, knowing that he's going to kill it. And I go get... Well, what would you get here? This thing's going to be out. This is out. He's got survival. What do you get? I figure the answer here is pretty clear cut, actually. And I'll show you in a moment what I chose. Meanwhile, for his turn, he gets Carador down and Secure Tribe Elder, which makes sense since he's still sort of in development phase. Vess dies, and boom, Humility. I didn't have enough mana to pick up Dragon, cycle Dragon, and cast Humility, or even pick up Dragon and cast Humility. So this turn, I just got down with Humility and get myself a land. And because I could have gotten Wasteland and attacked his mana, but because he did not sack Secure Tribe Elder in response, I'm figuring he's okay on mana. It's really hard to say since at this point his trick with Carador and Survival are mostly useless. But the thinking was, if I get Verge and develop with Verge and Dragon, I'm going to get to a point where I can start replaying Dragon and blocking, and basically Humility Dragon becomes reusable Vindicate for creatures. So, yeah, I eat a little damage. And he gets down Greater Good. Fortunately, we got Humility, so unless he wants to do some kind of, who knows with the graveyard, unless he has the idea of I don't know, getting like a Dredge spell or something, this probably isn't going to do much. So I pick up Dragon, draw a land, don't want to telegraph that I drew a land, so I use the Dragon and Verge. Also, I drew a Forest on the off chance that I'm able to recur Verge. So Breeding Pool and Hallowed Fountain come out. On the off chance that I am able to recur Verge in any way, you hang on to this Bayou and sort of long term, Scroll Racket or Jace it or Yawgmoth's Will, brainstorm it back. But mainly the option is Will. If I will, I get to brainstorm it back and then play the Verge, and then that's another target that's not a Plains. Anyway, so Mind Slicer, look how good this would have been for him. Slice and good, all kinds of awesome here. You sack Slicer and Greater Good goes on the stack first, and then Slicer's triggered ability goes on top. I get Mind Twisted, so does he, and then he draws 3 cards. Ugh. Well, 4 and discards 3, but he gets to keep 1. Anyway, nothing I have to worry about with Humility. At this point, the only threat is an actual disenchant, particularly the worst one, Crows and Grip. So I pick up Dragon, and look at that top deck. It's beautiful. So I have just enough mana with the Bayou to get down with a 1/1, and I'm very happy to do it. It might be a 12 mana 1/1, but it's an eternal 1/1. So just in case he does find himself a way to deal with this Greater Good, I want to trade with the Slicer now. Next target to trade for would be, Simulacrum, but look at this guy. Excellent top deck for him. So Dragon, I think, has put in enough work. Looks like he's retired. Terminus is gone, so it would appear that I have no sweepers, since I can't regrow or will that back. Then we'll carry on with the game and see what happens. So Cryptic, that's perfect. We can just say go. I could have potentially just played Queen as a reusable Vindicate for his blockers, but with Stroke in hand, all I want for this turn is nothing to happen, nothing relevant, and then I'm going to Stroke up. So he gets in for 3 more, and plays nothing relevant, and so I'm able to Stroke. And I go full Monty on that. Drawing 9 cards, generally good at this point in the game. And there is a Mystical Tutor. So what do you get? Answer, the other new addition to this deck. Thank you, Mr. Brian Weissman, for the encouragement and suggestion. Rolling Earthquake. Kill all of your opponent's creatures and one of their planeswalkers, and sometimes them too. Awesome card in this deck. And awesome card in this board situation. So step 1, clear away everything. Step 2, ensure that nothing lives for the rest of the game. Step 3, opponent doesn't draw Crows and Grip. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and close his commander out. We're going to close out his graveyard. Doesn't seem as important now in my exiled pile. So at this point, I've got just enough mana. So I've got a Forbid with buyback and a Staff going. My opponent really needs to hold cards, but he doesn't know that yet. He's got a 1/1. I'm not sure what he was thinking there. Maybe he didn't realize Staff has another ability. Maybe he didn't realize that Entrance Play doesn't work, but basically I get a Time Walk in there. I ship a land at the bottom of 2 spells and take them both. And I think you see where this is going, so shuffle away the land, of course. We'll accelerate as much as possible, but combo, Future Sight and Sensei's Divining Top, and Forbid. So here we go. Top crazy. Top decking. And I enlighten for Mox Diamond. I've got exactly 1 land and 2 mana and a Mana Drain. Seems good. That turn was solid. So I throw away Impulse. Don't need Impulse when you can draw for 1 mana anyway. Vandal Blast, 0 targets. Moat. I want to kill him with Tezzeret, so don't really need it. And I've got Staff locking down creatures anyway, and a Shackles. And then I throw away Scroll Rack because since his Divining Top says, who cares? You've got top Future Sight, Staff. Same reason as Impulse, basically. And I get the ping. And I thought about using mana, and then I was like, why am I going to tap mana here? I'm complete control. Don't even give him an opening for natural ice. So, draw the shackles, draw that land. Down comes the land. Opponent sees the handwriting on the wall, or maybe he sees the hinder writing on the wall, and gives up. So I hope you enjoyed that game, and as always, here's the deck list with new additions. Rolling Earthquake, and Eternal Dragon in. I took out... I have basically had 2 experimental slots. They've been Talismans, they've been Crystal Ball, and Counterbalance. They've been Blue and Black Honden. This feels best. Adding an extra red spell and another way to get red, along with all the value that you saw in that game, seems to be right. Especially like how this works really well with Forbid, works with Fact or Fiction. It just works. So we'll see what happens, but this is the deck list now. That was the game, and I'll see you next time.